Hey everyone, it's Eric Webb with Austin360.com. I'm here at the Austin City Limits Music Festival with Ms. Noelle Scaggs of Fitz and the Tantrums. So your voice is a powerhouse and just sultry and like a lion roaring, right? And so, you know, when you have those kind of soul Motown influences, it's easy to see like where that comes from. But when you're working with kind of more electronic pop dynamics, where do you kind of ground yourself when you're giving your vocal performances for that?
That's interesting because, I mean, I personally listen to so many different styles of music. I think it's just kind of a combination of things that I've grown up with. You know, a lot of the singers that I grew up with were artists like Tina Marie, Aretha Franklin, the Pointer Sisters. Like, I grew up listening to singers, you know, and a group kind of environment as well. So it was really easy for me to kind of fall into a pocket of doing harmonizations, listening to people like Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye growing up. But then I also had this kind of rock side. I was listening to Tool, listening to Metallica, listening to all these different styles of music. And those inspirations do come out, especially in the writing process. You know, a lot of it for us is we didn't really want to just stay in this kind of pigeonhole thing of just being this kind of retro soul act. So when we started writing, you know, More Than Just a Dream, we had all this experience on the road. We had basically been touring for nearly 4 years together before we started going to write this new record. And we were so influenced by the crowds, you know, so that's where you get these kind of anthemic hooks that we were going, you know, going for, that was really directed towards our live performance aspect and hearing people singing along with it. So we had those elements. And of course, like with Picking Up the Pieces, that Motown sax thing came out, you know, because of the organ. You know, that was a big part of the sound of that record, and then the horn arrangements and stuff. So when we were walking into this, you know, we went into more pulling into that kind of like 80s realm, you know, the synthesizer kind of being the kind of lead role in that, and, you know, still having that kind of like hip hop vibe with the drumming techniques. And, you know, it's always going to have this kind of soulful vibe because of the way Fitz and I sing. We're just kind of, where I call us more wailers than we are just kind of like soft-spoken, you know, singing kind of thing. We got to put it out there, you know, so you're always going to have that element of soul because of what we bring to the table vocally, you know. But I think we've really tried to find our own voice within those inspirations, you know. Definitely for me, when I approach something, I always try to think of a song the way that I would sing it versus how I hear someone else doing it, because that's the only way you're going to find your true voice.
Are there any artists right now that you're listening to, they're kind of maybe giving you something to bounce off of and kind of figure out how to do some new things for yourself, some kind of current influences?
Yeah, I mean, I was totally into this new Beyonce record. Sia's record is incredible. A Thousand Forms of Fear is probably one of my favorite records right now that I'm listening to. Yeah, I mean, that entire record, just her lyricism. She's such an amazing lyricist in the way that she approaches songs and stuff. And, you know, Adele is still one of, you know, my throwbacks I go back to and listen to her whole record. You know, I love artists like that. And I love the fact right now that so many females are shining in the scope of the music industry, more so than we ever have in I would say in the last like 6 years. Us coming to the forefront and being these powerful women that are such amazing role models for little girls, you know, coming up in this industry that want to do what we're doing, and seeing that we're, you know, you can be sexy and still have respect for your body, you know, and what you're throwing out there. And I love that. I love that the women are killing it the way that we are.
Well, absolutely. And so speaking of Beyonce, you know, she's been very forthcoming about her kind of feminist themes that she's, you know, putting into her music right now. Is that something that you sort of seek to do?
I love it. I mean, you know, it's something about using your voice in a way that inspires people to think differently. You know, over the course of, you know, I would say when I was coming up in the industry, it was about putting your sexuality out there before putting out your brain. And, you know, I fortunately grew up with a mother and, you know, 2 aunts who that didn't play. You learned how to speak appropriately. You learned how to be that businesswoman before anything. And if they couldn't respect you for that, then those aren't the people that you wanted to do business with. You know, so to see, you know, something like Flawless, where you're waking up and this is how you feel, you know, you feel great about your body no matter what, you know, shape or size you are. You woke up beautiful because your spirit is intact. And I like that she's putting that out there. I think women need to hear that, you know, because there's been so many other elements in the world that have, you know, allowed us to kind of put ourselves down and feel like we have to be this for a man. And, you know, it's so unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that we should know coming up soon for Fitz and the Tantrums?
Well, we have our new single, Fool's Gold, that is out right now, hitting airwaves, I've heard, everywhere. And we're, you know, just on tour. We're, you know, rocking it out. We're going to be on tour pretty much through the new year.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll be doing that.
All right. Well, Ms. Noelle Scaggs with Fitz and the Tantrums. I'm Eric Webb for Austin 360.
Bye.
Bye.